stared at me, and I was like, "Oh, come
I mean,
on."
they do like to stand on business sometimes. Like they'll wait for you to do some shit. They'll be like, "I dare you, I dare you. I'm gonna just sit here. I dare you." And like that's one of their intimidating factors. But alligators are very fun. Like I mean, if you like to do that type of stuff, I mean, especially in like lake country parts of Florida, you can hike for hours. If you like hiking, you can hike for hours in a ton of places, especially around that area. If you're somebody who likes to fish, especially somebody who likes to fish, there's a fuck ton of really good fishing sites around Lakeland. I've been to some of them. Definitely worth doing. I'm somebody who doesn't even fish that much. I only fish because I had an ex partner that used to fish or whatever, and we used to go there sometimes. And dude, I will tell you, I thought it was just some like little white people shit. Listen, I understand why they take those little bass catching photos or bass catching photos and like hold them up and they'll be like smiling on their Tinder pictures or whatever. I get it. I know the feeling now. It's it's great. But at the same time, like there's that to do over there. If you want to go shooting or hunting, there's a ton of especially in Florida. If you like guns, dude, there's a lot of shit you can do gun wise over here, especially shooting wise or shooting ranges. A lot of stuff shit you can do. Or if you want to go hunting, real easy to get a permit out here. Not that difficult. Same thing for the fishing license. So for the most part, as long as you get your fishing license and you're not a snitch to fucking wildlife whenever they come out there, you're good in the fishing community, at least out there, because most of them are very silent. They won't ask you too much about your catch or whatever. You don't have too many rats over there, but the people who are, we found out very quickly, and they're very fastly excluded from the community so that game and wildlife doesn't keep coming after everyone. But after that, yeah, all the shit that you could imagine doing where you're at right now, you can still do in Florida. Now, I get granted, mountain climbing and the hiking might be a little bit less because we're a bit more flat than where you're at right now. But at the same time, all the other activities that you'd like to do, you can still do here. And if you can get your hands on an ATV, you'll have a lot of fun down here.
All right, because I was looking at a boat for a minute. I was going to lease a boat because apparently that's a big business in Florida. I even looked at
Yes.
possibly just like leasing a sailboat for 6 months and just living on board that with the dog. And I thought, you know what, that'll be okay. It shouldn't be a problem with that. And then I was like, let's get a cottage. Let's get some kind of. I don't really like, apartments are fine, but I just they're not my cup of tea. And so I went, all right, we'll do a cottage. And they're like, oh yeah, we got some. And then there's some on the water. They're really pricey though. Those will be even more expensive if you want one on the beach. And I was like, but you guys get flooded. I've seen the hurricanes there. Like,
See, the thing is, the hurricanes. Here's the one thing about Florida you need to realize. I'm not. Where are you at right now, Brad?
Texas,
Okay.
Cyprus.
Okay. So here's the thing. What you need to realize about Florida, especially you being in Texas, somewhere that doesn't get hurricanes too much, over here, you don't give a shit about hurricanes unless it's a Cat 4 or higher. At least Florida mindset is if the Waffle House is closed, then start giving a fuck. If the Waffle House is still open, you'll be fine. Just get a week break. That's about it, right? So for the most part, for example, when Irma came through, we were fucked up for a little bit, right? We were fucked up for maybe like a day or two because some people were out of like internet for like a day or two, and the streets were just covered in branches. You had street sanitation come through and work on that. We had a little curfew to make sure that we wouldn't bother anything in the street, and that we had a little time set like, hey, nobody can go out right now because we're cleaning up everything off the street, blah, blah, blah. So Irma was bad. Some people were affected for about a week, and some people were affected for about maybe 3 to 2 days. And some people were affected maybe not even because they could get out the day after, right?
I'm gonna
So,
make you cinnamon rolls, okay?
so like it's not that
Oh shit,
bad.
I'm off mute. I'm sorry,
Oh
yo.
no, you're all good. You're all good. It's not that bad for anybody in Florida unless it's like really, really like 4 or 5, like Hurricane Andrew levels. Then okay, then we can start getting a bit scared. But like anything that's hit us recently within like the last decade, decade and a half, no, it's been relatively fine for us here. It's really just anything that's a 4 or higher, especially if you live closer to Central Florida. So like if you're in Lakeland, you don't have to worry about shit unless it hits maybe a 3 or higher. If you're in Orlando like I am, 3 or higher, 4 or higher. If you're in like dead center, you really don't have to worry about shit unless it hits a 4 or 5. Because by the time it gets to the center, most of those category 4 or 5 hurricanes that'll fuck up the coast, which is where you don't want to be at, have already degraded down to like a Cat 2 or a tropical storm by the time it gets to our area. So we get hit still, of course, but it's not as bad as it would be to the coast. So when it comes to like flooding stuff, as if like 2 or 3 days out of the week would really kill your living and what's going on right now, if like 2 or 3 days out of the week, like once in a year, would kill your business or what you're doing, then it wouldn't be a good idea. But if you can spare like 2 or 3 days where everyone else is also fucked and out of things, then you're completely fine.
Yeah, I'll be more than all right. I have like shit. I could literally build a cabin in the middle of the woods and be
Right.
fine.
So you'd be completely fine.
But I was just, it's Florida though.
Just the,
I'm
the one thing you do want to have, make sure you have flood insurance. Flood insurance is like a necessary thing here in Florida. You cannot live without flood insurance over here. Because of course I can always play it like this and say what I'm saying, but there's always the off chance that you get a really bad fucking one that will flood your shit. You always need flood insurance. That's something that you can't risk in Florida. Something else.
That's
Oh,
new though. I've been living in Florida my whole life. My mom has never had flood insurance.
I
But
just
Florida,
got I just got myself flood insurance on the newest place that I got because they had offered it there. I'm just like, ooh, we gonna need it,
yeah.
especially because we looked at some of the other apartments and it was raining real hard during that time, and they was getting flooded just by like the hard bats of rain we was
But
getting.
Florida is sinking. That's something me and my family members were just talking about.
Yeah,
Because now when it rains too long in Fort Lauderdale, it turns into a lake. Like that's
yep.
not normal. So we're really sinking for real.
Oh no, for real, yeah, absolutely. Which is why I say like now, if you can get flood insurance, that's something you're going to need. Especially because I agree with you completely. I don't disagree. Florida's definitely sinking. We're going lower and lower in elevation level every single fucking year. So like I completely agree with you. But at the same time, I would just say, Brad, if you're looking for something like a lake, something that's close to lakeside too, in Lakeland, definitely get flood insurance because them lakes is definitely going to bring up your chances of getting flooded too. Oh, and also, key rule for living in Florida: if you are driving on the highway or on a street or anywhere, if you see a Nissan Altima, one that happens to be white specifically, stay at least 2 lanes away from it and at least 3 car lengths away from it. It will crash into you. It doesn't matter if you use your turn signal. It doesn't matter how slow you're going. It doesn't matter how cautious you are. It will find a way to collide with your car unless you keep that spacing. Now, one that's also quite dangerous, but not quite as crash prone, are green Kia Souls. If you are looking around and you see a green Kia Soul, run, stamp on it. They can't catch you. They're not willing to catch you, but they're willing to crash into you if they're close enough to you. Now, the third thing you're going to want to know is in Florida, speed limits are different here. When we have a 45 posted, that means 60 and under is okay. If we're going a 70, that means go as fast as you want to. If you see a cop, slow down. If you go, well, you live in Fort Lauderdale, so it's a bit different for you because the cops over there are a bit more strict.
I live in Miramar.
But basically, if you, at least in this area, and Lakeland kind of feels this way too, because lately it's not as strict. Just don't do this shit around Port St. Lucie because they will fuck you up in Port St. Lucie, and don't do this around Fort Lauderdale. Don't do this at anywhere where the first 2 letters of it have a consonant and a T and a dot. If it has that in the name of the city, don't do that shit there. The cops are crazy, and don't do
I
it in
don't
Miami
live in
Dade
Fort
either.
Lauderdale. I live in Miramar. So
Ooh, yeah,
yeah,
that's not nice either.
yeah.
Ooh, the cops over there is not nice. But there's some places where the cops are nice. So at least in my area, in Central Florida, for the most part, the ruling that I have, and everyone else that I know that's lived here, 45 equals 60 and under. 70 equals go as fast as you fucking want to. If you see a cop, slow down to 80 and below. If it's a 30, you're going to ride at a 30 until you see that there's nobody on the street and then you push it to 40. And if it's a 25, just don't be a dick. Just do the 25. So that's kind of like the rules that we have, at least mentally, socially unspoken rules in Florida, at least. And when it comes to turning signals, those ones are used at your own convenience. I do my job to use my turn signals. Not everybody does. If you want to remember Family Guy, the little scene of I turn now. Good luck, everybody else. That's what it feels like in Florida driving on the highway a lot of the time. So you always have to be hyper aware while doing it, and always be cautious that there's going to be at least maybe 2 to 3 people that haven't been pulled over but should have been for DUIs that are going to be around you at least 24/7.
Yeah, someone in the chat said unless you're near the Georgia border. I found out Georgia is one of the only states that allow all the surrounding state troopers to patrol. their state. So you can be in
Yeah, it's
Georgia
a
and get
trap.
pulled over by Florida, South Carolina, Alabama. It's horrible.
Yeah, GSP don't play. Don't do shit near the border. GSP do not play at all. They will pit you and pull some like action movie level Brad Pitt shit on you.
Yeah, horrible. I was coming back from Georgia, but I was in South Florida at the time, and I got pulled over for doing 92 and a 70,
Yep.
and he gave me a warning. He was like, if you don't have
Oh,
any
you
warrant,
lucky. Oh,
yeah, he
you
was like, if you
lucky.
don't have any warrants and your license is straight, I'll just give you a warning. I was like, oh, thank God,
That's
thank
all.
you. It was good, but no, that it normally doesn't go that way. Usually, always get a ticket for going that fast.
Oh, and don't fuck with FHP either. It's as soon as you see like highway patrol or as soon as you see the different color scheme on the cop car in Florida, bro, don't even fucking try to outrun it. Some of them I'm pretty sure have Hellcats that they're using now. Yeah, don't even fucking try them. They have Chargers and Hellcats that they're gonna chase you with, and some of them are the modded ones that they've got off of people that they've stopped and pulled over or gotten and arrested. So
Yo,
don't
in
even try it with them. They'll
Homestead,
use the modded cars to their advantage.
In Homestead, they have a campaign where if you're a drug dealer and they take your car in like a raid, they parade it and they use it for the police department. It's
Yep.
kind of funny. I was like, yo, they're not playing anymore.
And it's crazy because I remember